You're listening to the Spurs News Christmas Special. Now please, welcome your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Spurs News Christmas Special. This is me, Sam, on tour, once again with a guest host. And today's guest is back by popular demand. He is the original Spurs News co-host with me. It's Matt.
Hello, mate. When you say popular demand, do you mean like a couple of listeners?
Yeah.
Has my son got in touch or something?
Yeah. So your family have been, there's a petition. Both people signed it. The Deaf Society have been on a lot. They really miss your voice. Yeah, no.
They love me.
Hey, loads of people ask after you on a regular basis. You'll be pleased to hear.
Oh,
I mean, it's partly they miss you, partly they don't like Stefan. But, I mean, you know, it's 50-50. It's all right. Yeah. How you been?
I miss it. I'm good, yeah. I do miss doing it, I do. But as you know, it's just, life. I don't get a spare minute in my life, unfortunately.
No. Nailing down a time to do the Christmas special was, is difficult. As we record this, Santa is readying himself. We are like right on the cusp. But so Merry Christmas, everybody! Every listener of the Spurs News podcast. Hope you're having a lovely time. The club are running a quite fantastic and wonderful thing this year around talking and mental health. So if you're not having such a good time and you're looking for company and things like that, the club, I think, is To Dare Us to Talk, they're calling it, which is genius, really. It's clever marketing. But it is a really good thing. In amongst a lot of very bad things the club are doing, that's a very, very good thing. So be sure to reach out to people if you need it. Our show will be keeping you amused for a little while, but before we get to the amusing parts, we do have to talk a little bit about the football. I'm sorry, everyone. I know, collective groan. But Matt, welcome back. We're going to talk a little bit about the most recent game to kick off with, and then we're going to have a more general chat. I've dubbed it in my running order, a frank chat with Matt.
I like
See
it.
What I did?
Good play on words, mate.
I know, right? Anyway, our most recent game was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is a tough place for us to go, always is. And we lost 2-1 to Liverpool. I believe you were at the game, sir. Am I correct?
Yeah, we were. Do you know you talk about the thing with the Samaritans. They played it. They played a video quite a lot before the game at half time, and I know why they do it as well, because obviously it's a lot of men watch football, and us men, unfortunately, we just don't deal with our emotions very well, do we?
Nope.
But honestly, after that game, they should just flash the Samaritans number just for everyone who blooming went.
I did ask a journalist if there was any way someone could find out if there was a huge spike in phone calls following, or during the game. I was just curious, because I just, there must have been people walking away from that stadium, maybe, say goodbye to people, and then just sort of sat alone on a train thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? And they've got this, bit of card in their hand that they were handed when they arrived, and you're looking at it thinking, yeah, maybe it's time I make a call. I mean, I'd feel for the Samaritans on the end of the phone, to be honest with you. It's, always makes me think of that joke. I can't remember what show it's from. I think it was Red Dwarf. And they said he worked for the Samaritans. They only had 2 phone calls. One of them was a suicide. Wouldn't be so bad, but it was a wrong number.
Oh, God.
So, oh my God. Yeah. And that's why I could never work on the Samaritans phone line. I would be awful. But, mate, me and you used to discuss this on a regular basis. Going to the games, you get a sort of perspective in the stadium. It's very different than a perspective on TV. How is it at the ground? Because as Ange's tenure was coming to an end, the home form went to hell, because he basically wrote everything off bar the Europa League, which we know. And then it just hasn't improved this season under Mr. Frank. How is it in the stadium? Because a few people I know who have been, don't go regularly, but have been to the odd game, and they've said it feels like years and years ago. So The only time I can equate it to when I was there on a regular basis was when George Graham was there, and it felt like it was like a tinderbox. Like there were empty seats for one, but also just it felt tense. Like a player sort of misplaced a pass, you felt like someone could like run onto the pitch. It was just like really hostile. Yeah. How has it been?
Well, we've unfortunately, Seb and I, we've missed quite a few games this season. And unfortunately, we've missed the only 2 times that we've won. So we haven't seen a win this season. But the Liverpool game was quite odd because I haven't got. I mean, you can get this from watching television, just being a Spurs fan in general, but it just doesn't feel like we've got an identity. Whether Thomas Frank's got this big plan and we'll end up developing an identity, but it just feels like we're just completely lost at the moment. It just isn't this coercion. There isn't a team there. And oddly, as disappointing as it was when Xavi got sent off, I actually turned to Seb and said, do you know what? I think this might actually do us a favour because we might have to start playing, you know, and it almost did.
I know what you mean, yeah.
I mean, obviously, it was 0-0 and they went 2-0 up, and obviously we got the goal at the end. But it feels like it just needs something. And I did see, I can't remember, one of the pundits, and they were saying that actually, I think he might be Jamie Redknapp, who's actually been a bit nicer to us recently. Yeah. He's not so much like you sacked my dad, Jamie Redknapp, but he was talking about it shouldn't need Tottenham. You shouldn't need you to go down to 9 men or 10 men and having that fighting spirit. That should be there from the start, you know. And it just isn't. Right, It just.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean because when I was watching it, I mean, I've got to that point where I laughed. Like, Xavi got shown that red card. Like, they're doing this whole debate about it. And Gary Neville's on co-commentary. And there's something about Gary Neville. I quite like Gary Neville. I quite like listening to him on certain things. I think he's a person I could sit down with and talk to. Like, I don't dislike him. On co-commentary, I don't know what it is, but he seems to have this real inbuilt agenda with certain people, and he does it for lots of teams. Like I've seen it, obviously I notice it with Tottenham because it means more to me, but his whole thing with Vicario, he created that narrative about him which got disproved week in, week out, and he just didn't drop it. And he's talking about Romero, and he's going on about how rash he is and how he's lost his head, he does this, he does that. You know, he does, you know, he's this and he's this, that and the other. And I'm like, with the greatest respect, you talk like none of us can remember you playing. I mean, like, you remember him. Like, he'd hack people down on a regular basis and then be all like getting in referees' faces, telling them to F off and all this stuff. Just because he was wearing the, you know, protected species red shirt of Manchester United, thou shalt not tell one of those players off because Alex Ferguson would be mad about it. He seems to forget that the rest of the league has had to deal with shit refereeing, and
completely.
And it just like blows my mind when he's doing this. And they were slowing down this Xavi thing, and he's going, "Oh yeah, no, that's dangerous. That's really bad." I'm like, how can you, who's played the game, he's going, "Oh, players know, like he's done that. The players know." I'm thinking, that's such bollocks. Like you've created this thing that people are watching it, and you watch it in real time and everything. It's just okay, he's late, it's a booking. That's what the referee gave. Game should move on. Like there was nothing in that was malicious, nasty, and so he gets a straight red for, you know, so he got a 3-game ban, which according to Thomas Frank today the club might appeal, but was bizarre. But the second one, like the Romero red card, while we're on red cards, he gets booked for kicking the guy who basically wanged him up, pushed him into the dirt, so he gives him a little dig back right in front of the ref. Ref gives him a second yellow, sends him off. He gives him that second yellow because Romero's basically been calling the referee shit from minute one.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
He got his first yellow for like protesting the goal. Now, watching that live, the commentary team, everyone was just like, "Oh, he's got to be stronger there and everything." And I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, he's been out-jumped. That's the end of it." I then see the replay afterwards where a Premier League referee does an analysis, and he's like, "Well, no, actually, his 2 hands in his back, it is a push, so it should have been disallowed." If you're a defender and you know that, like, you're competing with the player, he's put two hands into your back and pushed you, you're going to be pissed. Like, you're going to be wound up. Like, you don't want to eliminate that from the game. He's also the captain. And so say under the rules, the captain's the one who's supposed to go to the referee to query decisions. And, like, I'm watching it now, I don't know if he shouted something on the way there. But he just gets there and he's, like, shouting, and the referee just books him straight away for protesting. I mean, I don't know. It just seemed weird to me. Like, it's, oh, you're Romero, you're an asshole, here's a yellow card. Oh, you're Romero, you did this, here's another yellow, off you go. I mean, the second yellow felt...
It's the narrative's on him, isn't it? That's the thing, isn't it?
But just this whole kind of, oh, you can't trust him. I mean, even saw Tottenham fans like, oh, he was useless all game, he's this, he's that, the other. And I'm like, you're talking about the guy, World Cup winning central defender, one of the very best, playing in the hardest league in the world, in a team that is not really doing a lot to help him. And you're just shitting on him. I don't get it. Like, there's people saying, like, oh, he gave the ball away to do this. It's like, yeah, because he's trying to pass through the lines when no one's frigging moving. Like, no one's showing for the ball. No one's doing anything. He is trying to play football. Whereas everyone else is just doing what, all right, I'll just pump it forward then and let Liverpool have the ball back. I mean, it just, it's mind-blowing to me.
Do you know, I've got an interesting observation about that game as well. So, this is my opinion, okay? So, I don't think that the Xavi sending off was a sending off.
No.
But I also don't think that their second goal should have been disallowed, okay? I think it was fair. Now, if you look at both of them incidents in real time, Xavi doesn't get sent off and the goal's allowed.
I agree, I agree.
The only thing that's affected it is VAR has got involved, and when the referee goes to the monitor, the first image he sees is Xavi's foot studs up on the back of his leg. Right, that's the still that he sees.
Agreed,
but as we all know, in real time, it doesn't look that bad. Now, can you imagine if the VAR had to decide whether that second goal was to be allowed or not? And then the referee goes to the monitor, and the still image he sees is both his hands on his back.
I agree. Yeah, he disallowed it.
But it should be disallowed. But in real time, neither of those decisions, like, it was a yellow and it was a goal. It's only when you slow it down and you show stills to the referee, and it shows a different perspective that doesn't look right.
But don't you find that this is part of the problem we're in, which is you're either technology helping and making decisions or it's not. So, like, what you just said then to me just perfectly highlights why the game's so fucking annoying. If that's a yellow and if that's a goal, I'm fine. But they looked at that and made it a red, and they looked at that and said it's a goal. Whereas, like you just said, if you're going to apply that same level to the incidents, then that should have been applied to that. And technically, like the PGMOL guy was like, it's two hands in the back, it is a push, therefore it should have been disallowed. We're sorry. Well, you stick your sorry up your ass, because it doesn't give us anything back. But the point is like every single week in every single game there is a talking point around VAR, which is not so much, oh, bloody hell, how in the hell did they look at all those replays and still get it wrong? Because it's opinion, it's subjective. But more that it's like, okay, how in the hell did that get given there, but 10 minutes later in the same game, it's ignored? That is what drives people insane, because before technology, I understood that. They're human. Like, oh, they've missed it. Like that whole Pedro Mendes goal at Old Trafford, that drives me absolutely friggin' insane. But I don't think anyone cheated. They just didn't see it. It's like,
of course, exactly. So, there was no intent. They just missed it.
No, exactly. Now, goal line technology is matter of fact, yes or no. So that's fine. But the whole VAR thing is, oh, actually, when we looked at the replay, he stepped over the halfway line, so technically he was offside. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's bollocks. just there's like loads of these things that, like, when you add this in, you have to apply it to all or to none. And then you got that other example the other day, which I thought was like, yeah, I've been waiting for this to go wrong. I can't remember what game it was in, but basically, you know, like, and we've seen this in football our entire lives. The referee gives a corner. It's not a corner. The replay shows it's not a corner. The team score from it. Why can't VAR rule that out?
Yeah.
Like, and this is like, I know we're getting to a point of, oh, bloody hell, yeah, but if they're doing that, they're doing everything. But that is a mistake that leads to a goal. Like, that is... I know you can argue, yeah, but he still has to cross the ball. And the guy said, yeah, but it wouldn't be a freaking corner. Like, it would have been a goal kick.
Of course.
And it's like, so what? You're either having technology or you're not. And I know it's still infancy and it's going to improve, or so they tell me. But to me, VAR has not improved decision-making. If anything, it's highlighted just how bad decision-making is. And then they don't apply it evenly, which just drives everyone up the wall.
No, absolutely. And the thing is, look, I understand why VAR was brought in, because there was some like big mistakes. Yeah, but I'll always say, I mean, a good example for me is like, you know, when they look at offsides, and it can be really like literally the thin piece of leather on the front of their boot. Yeah. But then when you're not then seeing the instant the ball is like kick, like, you know, that if that's going to be such to the nth degree there, it needs to be to the nth degrees when the ball's passed. But you're not seeing that pass. You're just seeing a general, the ball's moving off his foot. But if you sort of slow that frame by frame down, it just seems like it's not. It doesn't. It's just making it all so like. What's the word I'm looking for? Sanitized, and it's taking the joy out of it.
Well, you know, it was something that I used to agree with Ange Postecoglou a lot about, which is it's changed the game. Like there is an element, and me and you both experienced this, where a goal's gone in and you've just not celebrated. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Because if you spot it and you're like, back in the day, you like look for the flag's down, brilliant, away we go.
Doesn't matter.
Like, we can just go mad. Me, but who gives a shit? Whereas now it's like, oh, he could have been off. Oh, maybe he's off. Fuck it, he's off. Like your brain does the he's blatantly off, bloody side. Back to you know,
he's so depressed with it.
VAR is going to rule this. Oh, it's a goal. but by then you've like put yourself through the emotional ringer of like, oh, fuck's sake. I just there is something about it which just isn't fun, and there's something about it as well which is true, which is I used to be able to accept mistakes a lot easier than I do now. Like that red card, if that referee back before VAR looked at that and gave a red card, and they showed a replay, I'd go, oh, if he's just seen the impact, then I can understand why he sent him off for that. I don't think it's, you know, I'd argue it, but I get it. Now I'm like, you've looked at 4 fucking replays of this, full speed, slow-mo, every angle, and yet you've come to the decision that he's done him. Well, he hasn't. Yeah. Like, there's no way. And, like, you're even interviewing them afterwards. He's like, oh, yeah, well, you know, it's not malicious. You sent him off for violent conduct. Like, like... Oh yeah, we didn't think it was malicious. Like even the opposition managers there going, yeah, no, it's fine. It's like that's not a set. I mean, the opposition manager, of course, would have liked to have seen Mickey van der Ven sent off for his challenge on Isak, who broke his leg. I personally am on the fence on this one, because I don't think the result of a challenge should result in punishment. Like I've never thought that. Like. He's got to make that challenge to try and block the ball, and it's just really unfortunate, the collision. I do find this is so messed up. Just a couple of days before this game, Mickey van der Ven gives an interview to Gary Neville, where Gary Neville asks him which player's given him the most trouble in the Premier League to date, and he says it was Isak. Now, now, I don't know if Mickey van der Ven is just been talking to Cutie about how do we handle him? Break his fucking leg. Got it. On it. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. How do we deal with that guy who causes us so many problems? Break his fucking leg. Okay, Cutie, I hear you. I was joking. Fuck.
So he could have broken his leg before he scored the goal. Wouldn't that have made it? That would have worked.
They'd have given a penalty if he'd done that. It just like. Oh dear, it's horrible. But it's a collision. It's a football thing. It's horrible. all joking aside, there's a couple of players their legs might break that I might be a bit smiley. Okay, so yeah, I'm a bad person. Let's just make that clear. But overall, I don't like anyone getting hurt. Okay, there's actually quite a lot now thinking about it. There's like, well, this whole team that play in red and white, any of them just like, yeah. Anyway, right, moving on from that. Overall then, let's have a frank chat. To give you a little bit of a summary, he wasn't the guy I would have picked. He's not someone I've ever particularly liked. On the show, I discussed my problems with that because me and you, we've talked about this so many times, especially when managers started changing, which is like, you got to give them a go. Like, you got to give them a fair crack and you got to kind of get on board because they're the boss now. So you got to be, and I kept saying on this show, I was like, I'm struggling with this one. Like I really have serious reservations, but I'm hoping that like I'm on board soon, you know, like this.
Yeah.
And every week goes by, I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. Okay, well, we did all right there. Yeah, all right, maybe, you know, maybe I'm seeing. No, wait, no. 2 more games have gone by. I was wrong. I wasn't seeing anything. It was just Kudus doing something really good. And then I got to this point where I said, like, it feels like the only way we can score is a set piece or a moment of magic from an individual. Like, a couple of players might do something special, but we have no kind of system, no kind of offensive thing. And at that point, we were defending quite well, but then that went quite rapidly not long after. And I was like looking at it, I was like, I don't get it. Like, last season, I understand the goals we were conceding because we were playing all sorts of players in all sorts of different positions, just trying to field a team. This season, we actually had, for a good run of games, like our first choice back five, like Vicario in goal, Romero, Van de Ven, they've been largely fit all season. Udogi was doing well. Spence filling in was doing well. Pedro Porro doing well. So it was like, I don't get what's gone wrong. We've added Paulinho, who's like an absolute wall, brilliant defensive midfielder. Why is it we're suddenly as open as ever again? And someone smarter than me pointed out on Twitter, it's because we're just handing over the ball all the time. It's like, at the start of the season, we were defending quite well, but we were also retaining the ball quite well. Whereas now it's like we have no outlets. So we're just pumping the ball along and our strikers aren't retaining it. And it's just coming back again and again and again and again. And eventually, like, you will, you know, you're going to start conceding because it's like running I said this in the Liverpool game for about 20 minutes. It felt like one of those training exercises where you're just drilling your defenders. Okay, we're just going to defend for 20 minutes. Just like keep kicking the ball back to them. They'll just keep bringing it back at us. And just, I don't know. So I'm going to pass it over to you, really, mate. Let me know how you felt. How you felt about the appointment. How you felt it's going so far. Where's you? Because like everyone on this show or listens to this show is sick of hearing me talk about it.
You know, we went, so go back to the PSG game.
Yeah.
And that night, the night of that match, we were going off on holiday the next day to Portugal for a couple of weeks. So we were buzzing. So we stayed at a Premier Inn the night before because we had an early flight from Heathrow in the morning. So me and Seb sat in the hotel. It's a really nice Premier Inn. It's Bath Road, like, oh, lovely. It's like a hotel within a hotel. It's really like lovely in there. Like, it's a coffee shop, and some of your rooms actually look into the inside. Oh, anyway. So we're sitting there in the bar. We're watching the game.
Yeah.
And I know we end up ultimately losing it on pens.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, but I was thinking, we look really good.
Yeah.
We look really good. And I'm like, I even though like obviously say we lost, I said to Seb, like, I think we're going to do well. I actually think we might win the league. Like,
you didn't.
Yeah. We are so good. Like, we've given the champions of Europe a scare. You know, it's only because they brought on those subs at the end that kind of who had the energy to sort of bring the game back.
Yeah.
And then when we was on holiday, Burnley game won 3-0, didn't we?
Yep.
We was actually sitting in an aqua park in Portugal when we beat Man City.
Yep.
And I'm like, 100% winning this league. This is going to be easy. Thomas Frank magical appointment.
Okay. Okay.
And it's all slowly going downhill, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very gradually. And do you know, I think, I personally think that he doesn't command. It's funny because a modern, like, you know, I know you mentioned Man United and Alex Ferguson. I wonder whether an Alex Ferguson type manager would work nowadays. But at the same time, I feel like Thomas Frank is too much the other way. He's too much of a, like, he's very friendly. He's very, like, you know, it's all, you know, he's got these different systems. It's all very, very modern, but it almost feels too modern. And I feel like he just doesn't command the respect of the team. And obviously there was that moment with Spence and Van der Ven after one of our defeats where they blanked him.
They
and
played
that's
that down, but I really felt that was a big moment personally.
Yeah.
Like I've watched us lose games badly, and I've watched managers and I've watched players and managers have moments, you know, sort of thing. I've never seen two players almost look disgusted. Like, how dare you friggin' feel like we're shit and it's because of you? You know, it was that kind of...
Yeah.
And then you add to that, like, a couple of weeks later, Van der Ven gets a note passed to him by Thomas Frank. Did you see this?
No.
So it's in a game, and, like, so a note gets brought on by a sub, and so the camera follows this note. So the camera's right on Mickey. He reads it. He pulls a face like you wouldn't believe, like a kind of like, oh, fuck off. And he literally just crunches it up and throws it behind him.
Oh, you're joking?
No. And so it's like, oh, jeez, what did that note say? Like,
please be my friend.
Yeah, it's like, please talk to me. Yeah, Ange said it's okay. I asked him. See, the thing is with Thomas Frank, and when we appointed him, like, he's just a person that I couldn't warm to, and I kept saying, I think it's because he reminds me of a PE teacher. And so I was just like, but I gotta go over that. That's just a silly thing that I've got in my head. And then as time's gone on, like, the more and more, every time he does an interview or a press conference, he says something, and I'm like, Jesus, you're such an asshole. Like, he's gone in on the fans. Like, there was a situation where our fans booed Vicario, and I completely agreed from the point of view of, that's dumb. Like, he's our player, he's on the pitch, in the game right now. All you're doing is making this worse for him in the game. Like, we need 100%. To be lifting him up right now. Like, this is the moment to lift him up. When you leave the stadium, go, fuck me, did he cock that up? Yeah, absolutely. But in that moment, he needed us to pick him up. It was madness doing that, and it affected the whole team, and you can see it. His whole response to that was wrong. Like, you go in on the fans in that way. The reality is, you should have said, yeah, that was disappointing. The fans are obviously really disappointed. You know, there's a mistake there, you know, but we hope that, you know, they'll support, not boo. Like, there's so many different ways you can handle that. And ironically, Vicario handled it brilliantly. Like, you know, yeah, it was my mistake. I hold my hands up. You know, the fans pay the money. They got a right to be frustrated with me, etc., etc. I'll do better, and hopefully, you know, they'll be on side. It just the whole kind of, and then he's gone on to recently with the whole, how do you feel about, like, fans questioning you? Oh yeah, well, the true fans aren't questioning me. What does that mean? Oh no, loyal fans. Loyal fans are. I'm like, I'm sorry. Who the fuck are you who's been in my club for 5 minutes when I've been supporting them for 40 freaking years? Loyalty? Try supporting this club in the 90s, you cunt. Like,
try supporting them now.
I know, right? It's just, it's like, so different. Remember when we had Pochettino in charge, and me and you used to say, "Oh, these lot don't know how good they got it." they're feeling it now, and you're kind of like, want to see? Told you. Like, when you go into school and everyone's laughing at you because you lost again. This is what my life was. But yeah, I just, there's just something about him, I don't like him, and I've got to the point, it's like, you can win me over. Like, so Ange Postecoglou got appointed, and I was just like, this is awful. I was doing all the Aussie jokes. I was just like, this looks terrible. And then I got sent this video of him speaking to the Australian national team. And I was like, wow, now that is someone who knows how to motivate a team. Like, that was just like, I'm not Australian. I was not playing a football match, but I was ready to run through a wall by the time I listened to that. I was like, oh, good. I think he finishes it with, like, go enjoy your lunch. And I was like, I will enjoy every lunch from this point on, Ange. Yes. And so largely his fault. I gained so much weight. I've been enjoying my lunches non-stop, Ange. But yeah, and then so, like, I spoke to Celtic fans, and they were like, you're going to go for all the jokes. You're going to go for all of this. This is ridiculous. You're going to laugh at him talking about these different things and always looking at the ground during interviews. And then you're going to absolutely love the football and it's going to be brilliant. And I was like, all right, we'll see how it goes. And then we're like, those opening 10 games of his reign, I was just like, this is everything I've ever wanted from my football team.
It was insane.
Like, this football is it. This is to dare us to do. This is Tottenham playing football. This is brilliant. And then everything went to shit. Like, there were suspensions, injuries, and it never recovered. And then you go into season 2 and it just got worse because they didn't add to the squad. Like, we didn't have Europe in his first season. The second season we have Europe because remember he finished 5th in his first season. Oh my God, how terrible he was. And then you get to the second season and it's like, yeah, we've added another competition, but we're not making your squad bigger. We've actually sold a load of experienced players, replaced them with kids. Go for it. Good luck. It's been heavily reported that his goal for the season was win a trophy if he could, but Champions League was a must. That was his thing. He did it, and they still sacked him. Yeah. And they sacked him because the narrative is Premier League place above all. Like, the Premier League has destroyed other competitions. Like, the League Cup's a joke now. The FA Cup, well, me and you were younger, mate, and even into our adulthood, the FA Cup was a big friggin' deal.
Oh, like, of course, yeah.
Cup final Saturday, the country stopped. Like, it didn't matter even if your team was in it. It was like there was bloody top of the pops
every
teams.
Every TV programme, was about it.
Everything was about, like, the FA. And now, because of the Premier League, it's like, whatever, FA Cup doesn't matter. And I get it, like, the money involved, and I understand that, but, like, the Premier League is not the be-all and end-all. I will remember that night in Bilbao for the rest of my life. The game was shit, but I don't care about any of that. We won. I'm going to remember that forever, and it was amazing. And in 10 years' time, I dare people to remember the league. Like, they won't give a shit. We finished 17th that season, yeah, and... Yeah.
But do you know what? I went to, when I was staying at holiday to Portugal, it was a Villa holiday, and it was like loads of our friends there.
Yeah.
And most from West Ham fans, about 90% of them West Ham fans.
Yeah.
And all I got the whole time was, well, you finished 17th. And I'm like, I don't care.
No.
I do not care that we finished 17th. No. We won the second biggest trophy in Europe. Honestly, you can give that all, you finished 17th all day long, but it's not hurting me because we've got the trophy, and that's all that matters.
And we also know the circumstances. Like, we also know that, I read this the other day, and apologies, I might get this wrong, but it's something like 85% of our league games, we were unable to field 8 first-team players. Now, who those first-team players were varied slightly, but that's insane. Like, it was like Vicario, Romero, and Van der Ven only started one game together in the league.
You're kidding, at the 38?
Like at the 38. And it was like, and they featured together something like 5 times in the entire season.
Jeez.
And that was because towards the end, when those 2 defenders were fit, Ange was rotating them to keep them fit and keep them ready for the Europa League, because he knew, okay, we can't get relegated because the bottom 3 are shit. Like, they're done, they're gone.
Yeah.
And we can win the Europa League if we focus on it, and that gives us Champions League football. Like, that is my goal. Like, my goal is this, and that's a trophy, and this club winning a trophy is important. He knew it, he did it, got fired for it. Daniel Levy's final joke, because then Daniel Levy gets given the boot. And now we're in this situation with the Lewis family, which is just basically rebranded ENIC, because, like, nothing's changed.
No.
Nothing. The ownership has not changed one bit. Did you see that Joe Lewis got pardoned by Trump?
Oh, did he?
Yeah. White collar crime. Yes, white collar crime. Lovely Joe Lewis. No problem with Joe. He bought my son's Bitcoin, completely irrelevant.
Exactly.
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
It's not a bad Trump impression, by the way, Sam.
I've been working on it quite a lot, actually. Yeah, it's I'm planning to freak the shit out of my family all over Christmas. And I was like, there's fake news. Got you a present, fake news. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Mate, before we move into the fun Christmas part of the show, if you were in charge of Tottenham Hotspur, let's say you get a phone call tomorrow and you say, a bit like Brewster's Billions, we're going to update it. Matthew, sir, I am a solicitor representing your great uncle you knew nothing about, who's passed away as an oil tycoon. He's left you his entire fortune as his last living relative. You have, £1 trillion, so you got more money than anyone else on the planet. And you are able to purchase Tottenham Hotspur from the wonderful Lewis family, not the bad Enoch people, the wonderful Lewis family. It's the same fucking people. And so you are now the proud owner, right? You've walked in, this is January 1st, let's say, and you've got the decisions to make. Do you say, you're my coach, Mr. Frank, I'm going to back you, who do you need? Or do you go, there's the door, and I'm going to bring in this person, What would you do if you had that power?
Oh yeah, straight away, Frank. Thanks, mate, but no thanks. And then on the phone, Poch, come on. I know the World Cup's coming, mate, but you're coming back. So we're having you back.
I had the show. The guest host last week was my brother. Robbie was on, and he basically said the same as you, which is Pochettino's the guy to bring back. But obviously, knowing that he's not available to the summer, you almost want to appoint someone. So, like, he gets the job. Like, it's announced. Like, yeah, I'm leaving the USA after the World Cup. I'm going back to Tottenham. My coaching team, everyone knows it. So he's like going, yeah, sign this guy, this guy, this guy. Because let's face it, he's an international manager. You don't have a lot to do until the World Cup starts.
No, exactly.
So
do you know, I saw it. I was going to say, Sam, sorry, I saw, I don't know if it comes up on your Facebook, but I occasionally get like the official page will show games of the past on this day.
Yeah.
Did you see, I think it was either today or yesterday, or sorry, Christmas, when we beat Everton 6-2?
Yeah, so I didn't see it, but I've seen a lot of people reacting, going, thanks for posting that, reminding us when we were good.
Oh, honestly, mate, watch it. It's just insane. We're quick, we're attacking. Everton could not handle us, right? You look at us now. We was watching a game, and apparently this is something that West Ham fans used to get frustrated with Kudus. It picks up the ball. I don't know if you notice this on television.
Yeah.
It picks up the ball. It gets to the halfway line, and he's like, nah, I don't fancy that. Even though he's got all the space to run into, and so we've got him. Yeah. And look, I'm really sorry for picking on players, right? Because look, it's a culmination of a lot of things. But then we're struggling. We need we're down to 10 men. We need some excitement. We need some. We need to get some bite into this game. It brings on Brennan Johnson. I know. Now, Brennan Johnson scored the winner in May, so I'll always love him for that. Yeah. But Christ. He's not an impact sub, is he? No. So this is what we're being served now. And then I watched that game again. I watched the highlights of that game against Everton when you had the likes of Dele, Kane, Son, Ericsson, and we just would swarm teams. We would swarm them. Like, you look at it, like they could not cope, and it's just such a stark difference to what we're having to go through now.
Well, see, it's funny because I loaded something into the sound desk because I had a feeling we may stumble across this conversation. So one final question on this. Do we just pretend the whole Chelsea thing didn't happen?
Yeah, it didn't have to have it. They sacked him, so he hates them now anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah. So the way I'm selling it to myself was he realised he could never be the Tottenham manager again unless he became the ex-Chelsea manager.
Yes, exactly.
That's the way I've sold it to myself. That's in my soul. That's the only way. I don't know if it's nostalgia and stupidity that I think he's the only person who can fix this. But I feel so disinterested in everything Tottenham right now.
Oh, Sam, we when we started doing this podcast and it was Poch in charge, it was just we took it for granted, didn't we? And it was just exciting football. It was exciting. It was a joy to watch Spurs play. Now it's just honestly like I feel sorry for Seb because like we come away from games and he's just like, Dad, I can't like. You make all you, and this goes back to the point you was making earlier about Frank picking on the fans, and I agree. Like you should never the fans who boo for Cario, that was wrong. Like you get behind him, but what they don't realise is that and look, I don't want to be one of these people. Oh, they earn millions. They're so different, but. They're in a bubble. They're in a bubble where they're earning 100, 200, 300 grand a week. Money is no problem for them. Whereas you just ordinary people like us who are just making the effort, forking out hundreds of pounds to go there, all that effort. And you just, like, honestly, sometimes me and him are on the drive home and I'm like, why are we doing this? It's just rubbish. It's just rubbish.
It's difficult because you get this kind of, it's that feeling of, we are making this insane effort to be there, to be loud, to be supportive, to do all this kind of stuff, and you're just serving us crap every single week. And it's and I said this before as well about Thomas Frank about getting to Christmas because I want to see something. I remember Pochettino took over and it was poor results-wise, but I could see the way he wanted us to play and I liked that. Like, I could understand it. Under Ange last season, the results were bad, but I could understand what was going on and like the greater picture of it. Jose, I didn't like the football, but I understood how we were going to score goals playing his way. I understood that. Kane and Son, just like Conte, didn't really enjoy the football, but I understood the system and how we'd score goals. It's just like there's nothing there. He's like one of the things I said when we first appointed him that because I was talking to Stefan on the show and he said, I like the fact that he's tactically able to adjust for the opposition. And I said it then, and I'm going to stand by it now. It's like, that shouldn't be us. That's a lower league team going to someone and having to adjust every week. That is a mentality of a side that is always worried about the opposition. We should be one of the teams that arrives, and everyone knows how we're going to play, but it's how do you stop them? They can't
play like Man City. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, them not down the road, they're the same. You know how they're going to play. They're not going to alter how they played. That's them, isn't it? They've got their identity, and we haven't got an identity. No,
we don't. And we see the thing that winds me up is the way Ange wanted us to play football was an identity that's the Tottenham way. Like, that was to dare us to do. That was, you're right, you might get a couple against us, but we're going to outscore you. Like, it was that football, that swashbuckling, the reason all of us fell in love with the game. And then it was ripped away by the same guy in Daniel Levy who said, when he appointed him, we've got our Tottenham back. Mm-hmm. And yet his next act is to fire him and put a pragmatist in charge. His final act, in fact, which aggravates me. The more I think about that, the more it annoys me. But I will just say that it does give the Lewis family in their rebrand an out, doesn't it? They can fire him, but it does mean who they appoint has to be right, because they can fire him and go, look, Daniel Levy, point that guy in charge. Sorry, everyone. Do you know what I mean? They can do that. They have got an out there, but the next person that comes in is on them. And they know that. And so I think we might see him a bit trigger shy. However, we are flirting quite dangerous with, the form. And like you said, you look at the squad, they're not happy. Not one player. Under Ange last season, we were losing games regularly, and they backed each other, they supported each other, they were all together. This season, they're openly shouting at each other on the pitch. They're having digs at each other in the interviews. I mean, was it Nottingham Forest? Archie Gray made that mistake where he got closed down. Personally, I think Vicario should never have passed it to him, but it's just what it is. And then in the interviews afterwards, 2 senior players for Spurs come out and say, yeah, well, once Archie makes a mistake like that, it's difficult. I'm sorry. You're throwing one of the youngest members of the squad under the bus, you jackass. Like, that just didn't happen last year. And this year, they're just, none of them look happy. And that's when you're getting these frustrated yellow cards and challenges going in, because they're all pissed off. Like, none of them are happy, and just, it's annoying. So anyway, throwing that away, because it's Christmas. Mate, I'm delighted to say we have a Christmas game to play.
You never told me about this. I want to go on, mate, if you told me
it is a Spurs quiz of Tottenham Hotspur trivia. It's 5 questions. You ready to play?
Go on, mate. It's Christmas.
It is Christmas. Okay, so we're opening up. Hang on. We've got to set it right. Here we go. Question number 1 of the Tottenham Hotspur 2025 Spurs News Quiz is... In 1963, Spurs became the very first British club to win a European trophy. What was that trophy?
Is it the equivalent of what we won last year, but whatever it was called back then?
So, Europa League, as was UEFA Cup.
Let's go with that, yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Christ. Yeah, we beat Wolves, did we? I don't know. Yeah, I'll go with it. Let's go with it. Go on.
Oh, sorry, my friend. It was the now defunct Cup Winners' Cup.
Oh, right. Okay.
Are you ready?
Who did we play?
Are you ready for question 2? Now, I think you're going to get question 2, but you might be mad at me for asking it.
Go on.
Right, okay. Here we go for question number 2. In the 1980s, Tottenham superstars Chris Waddle and Glenn Hoddle had a chart hit with a song. What was the name of their song?
Did it have the word lights in it?
It does have the word lights in it.
Is it?
It's. I'm going to say it's 2 words, and the second word is lights. So
can you give me the first letter?
No, you've had enough clues out of me. Hoddle and Waddle, you can see him on top of the pop singing along or miming. The hair, so much hair.
I just kind of like I'll kick myself, but I can't think of it. My head keeps going to Northern Lights, but that's not.
It begins with a D.
A D.
Yeah.
Diamond Lights. There we go.
Correct. Heavily helped, but it's fine. It's Christmas. Ho ho and all the hoes. Whenever I do stuff like this, I always like the idea of people listening being like, "It's this, you dumbass!" Scream at that.
I was quite little when the song came out.
Yeah, yes, we were young because we're young people in it, right? Okay, I'm delighted to say we have more. Question number 3: Which Tottenham Hotspur player scored in the 1966 World Cup final?
Tottenham, because I know obviously you had the hat trick.
Yeah.
That was the West.
Yeah, Tottenham player scored in the final.
Why do I not know that?
I was going to say, do you want to know what's really embarrassing about this? Is I didn't even realise. But once I knew, I was like, yeah, of course, I knew that.
I don't know. I mean, no, completely. I don't know. I can't even begin to guess.
Well, it was Martin Peters.
Right. I'm going to remember that now. I'm going to remember that picture. Yeah.
But I'm going to remember that now. Yeah. We're moving on quickly.
Go on.
Question number 4. Now, this would be a real test of memory for you because you will know this, but it's going to be buried. Which Tottenham Hotspur player scored the club's first ever goal in the Premier League?
Oh my God.
And
okay.
it took us 3 games to score, by the way. Nothing changes.
Right.
Think about who was up front at the time. And I'm going to give you a clue because I'm lovely. It's not Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah, because I think he scored the first Premier League goal, didn't he? But he wasn't playing for us.
Oh yeah. He joined us the following season, the first ever Premier League season. Who scored Tottenham's first ever goal in the competition?
What are we talking? Was it 92 the Premier League started?
92, 93.
Oh my God, who could it be? Am I allowed any Christmas clues?
He's Scottish.
Gordon Jury.
Is that your final answer?
Lock it in.
Correct!
Yes!
Yeah, it's funny because I knew that one, but for the life of me, I could not. Like, I could picture him, like, I just could not think of his name. He used to have that.
He had quite a square jaw, didn't he?
Didn't he just? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We have one final question. It's 2-2, technically. 2 right, 2 wrong.
Okay.
This is to save Christmas.
Come on, this is to save Christmas. Come on, I'm up for it.
Question number 5 in the Spurs News 2025 Christmas quiz. What was the transfer fee that Tottenham Hotspur paid for Jimmy Greaves?
Okay, it's not going to be much in today's money.
It's not going to be much in today's money, and there's a reason why this question's kind of interesting. Like when you think of it, you'll remember it. Like, it's not.
Can I
go on?
Can I be within a certain? Is there like an amount I can be within to get it right, or have I got to get the exact tits of the pound?
I'd like it exact, please, because this is a big question. This is like to save Christmas, and I will tell you, it is not a round number.
It's not a round number,
and that's
right?
A big
Okay.
clue.
Oh, hang on. It wasn't a pound shy of $1 million, was it?
No. You're part right.
Oh, because it was to avoid paying it was done for a reason, wasn't it? No, do you know?
Well, it's a pound shy of an amount, so you've got to
it wouldn't be $1 million, would it?
Because
back in the 60s, yeah.
So it was a pound shy to prevent him having the pressure of being the first player of that value.
99,999.
Correct.
Jimmy
Greaves was signed for £99,999 because the club didn't want him to be having the pressure of being the first ever £100,000 footballer.
Blimey, how things change, eh?
Yes. Imagine Jimmy Greaves in his prime now would be earning that a day.
God, jeez. I mean, I know obviously money's still worth a lot more now, but most football players don't even earn it in a couple of days, don't they?
Yeah, 99,999. Yeah, I mean, that's probably after tax. That's probably someone's weekly wage now in our academy.
Yeah.
Let's
Academy.
not think about that. Yeah, but yeah, 99,999, and the official reason given was that. But yeah, there was another one later on with the $1 million, but I don't think that was us, where it was like basically a club signed him for like 999,995, and it was like a tax. It was like a tax thing, which just absolutely cracked me up. Yeah, I mean, the world's changed, but yeah. Well, mate, you saved Christmas 3-2, spot on. I mean,
you can all have your presents, kids.
Yeah, ho, ho, and ho this year. The very next game that Tottenham play is Crystal Palace. It's away. It's on the 28th. I mean, do you have any hope for that? Are you checked out? Because I'm in this weird place where I do the updates on the page, as you know. I do the podcast, so I am kind of gun to my head watching every minute of every game right now. I'm not massively enjoying it. Like, I'm fairly confident if it wasn't for the show and stuff, I would probably give myself a break from my own mental health.
Yeah. Depressingly, Sam, I actually think and you may disagree again, all opinion based. I actually think Palace have got a better squad and a better manager than us.
I think they've got a better manager. I don't think they have a better squad. I think our squad's a lot better than people believe it is because they are being made to look awful. That's my opinion, and it is all just opinions. Like, I walk through our squad individuals and I look at it and I go, that's a squad full of full and academy internationals with so much talent in all these different roles. How in the hell can we not get a cohesive, like, what's going on? And I genuinely believe, like, Xavi gets signed for Ange Postecoglou and he's one of the best players in the league right now.
Yeah.
But that's, again, his opinion is subjective. Now, this should give you a bit of a laugh. Back when you were part of the admin team, you'll remember we did predictions every year. So we would start at the start of the season with predictions of where we would finish, all this kind of stuff. And at Christmas, we do like a kind of check-in to see how they're getting on. So you get to just sit back and laugh at this. But Dan, Laura, Newbie Ryan, Stefan, and myself had predictions for where certain things. So everyone can now enjoy this. So Dan first, okay? I'll tell you what, we'll do it the other way. We'll do it the predictions first. So final league place, Dan predicted that this season we would finish 7th. How do you think that's looking right now?
At the moment, not particularly great.
No, not great. Laura said 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan said 8th. Yeah.
More realistic.
Yeah. Stefan went 7th again. You know, so him and Dan. Yeah. I went 10th. I think
I'm
right
with you
now,
on that one, mate.
I think right now I'd be happy with 10th.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, can we just stop the league now? Finish 10th.
Yeah, just 10th. 10th will do right now. In the Champions League, Dan believed we would get out of the group. We would exit in the first part, the group stage. I think we're going to make the playoff things with this now. But yeah, I that's where he was. Laura believed we'd make the last 16.
Okay.
Ryan believed we'd make the last 16. I think they're both drunk, by the way. I think they're drinkers, heavily drinkers. Stefan said the playoff round in between the group stage and going into the knockouts. I said the group stage as well. So me and Dan were uber negative there. Stefan a little bit better, but I think Laura and Ryan possibly a little bit too positive.
I think we play differently in the Champions League. I mean, we've got that insane run, haven't we? Where we've lost a European home game in like 25 games.
Yeah.
We seem to play better, and I think personally that we'll end up in the playoffs and we'll win that, and we'll end up probably in the last 16. I think that probably be as far as we'll get.
Okay, mate, that's nice. FA Cup, right? Yeah. Dan said quarter-final. Laura said the 4th round. Ryan said the 5th round. Stefan also went with the 5th round. I said we're going to bomb it out in the 3rd round.
So you knew he was going to get Aston Villa.
I didn't know, but I just had that. You know, like our record for draw, like we drew Man City. Like it's like, oh come on, give us a frigging chance.
I know.
In the League Cup, which of course we have exited in the 3rd round. By the way, we are out of that. The first hurdle. Dan said the semi-final. Dan, you were horrifically wrong. Laura said the 5th round, very wrong. Ryan, the quarter-final, very wrong. Stefan, the quarter-final, very wrong. I said the 4th round. I was only a little bit wrong.
Yeah, a little bit wrong.
We were all asked if we thought Thomas Frank would still be in charge at the end of the season, and all of us said yes. Given how negative I was, I'm fairly confident I was peer pressured into that, by the way. Our top goal scorer predictions pretty funny. Dan predicted Dominic Solanke. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Laura,
is he going to play a game this season?
Mate, don't even get me started on that. Like, you would not believe the number of messages I get about Dom Solanke and people with different theories, and I'm just like, this is brilliant. Do you remember when we had that feature on the show with Sissoko? Like he was so bad, there's a conspiracy theory, and we used to play like the X-Files music and talk about.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to I think I should bring that back for Solanke in his injury update. Laura said Richie would be our top goal scorer.
Potentially, probably will be.
Ryan said Brennan Johnson, who of course is now looking set to join Crystal Palace in January. Stefan said Solanke, and so did I. Boy, were we horrifically wrong. And
it's probably going to be Mickey van der Ven, I think, isn't
it? Currently, own goal is really kicking ass.
Oh, right.
But yeah, the most assists. So our prediction for this, Dan, Laura, and Ryan all went with Kudus. Given his start to the season when this prediction was made, I can understand that. Like that was pretty strong. Me and Stefan both went for Pedro Porro, so Pedro Porro, up until this season, since joining the Premier League, had the most assists of any defender. And keep in mind that, there's some very high assisting defenders in the league. So that was quite a stat. This season, next to fuck all, because he ain't allowed, basically. You shall not do that. It's like having a player who's very good at one particular thing and then completely nerfing him.
Nullifying it.
Yeah. Shocking. Mate, that's the show. It's really nice having you back, though. You got to come back again.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, mate.
You need to come back because people do genuinely miss you, and we do genuinely get a lot of messages. And I know when this show goes out for Christmas, people are messaging saying like, "Oh, it's great to hear Matt again. Why can't he replace you? Why do we have to put up with your dulcet voice all the time?" And and that's just my mum. But mate, Merry Christmas. Love to the family. It was great talking to you. Merry Christmas to everybody listening. I hope you have a great time and a happy new year. I'll be back next with another guest host. Keep an eye on the social medias, and I'll tell you when the next show is, because I might take a week off just for Christmas. Ho, ho, and ho. Just it's a mental health break. I mean, I don't have to watch us. It'd be wonderful. But mate, I'm going to leave the final words to you, just because you're reappearing on the show, and so you can say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on. I love doing this. It's just like you say, finding the time, but it's always a pleasure. Happy Christmas to everyone, and let's all have a very prosperous new year and be prosperous Spurs fans, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Christmas Special. We hope you had a lovely Christmas and a happy New Year.
Bloody freezing, isn't it?